Boxing legend Muhammad Ali brought Hyde to a standstill when he visited the town to open Ricky Hatto's Gym. The Cup first round Hyde United v MK Dons venue Ewan Fields. Date Friday the 3rd of November. Kickoff 19:55 GMT. Coverage watch live on BBC Two, the BBC Sport app from 19:30 GMT. Score updates on BBC Radio 5 Live and follow text updates on the BBC Sport website. There were people all the way down the street, recalls Ricky Hatto. I'm massively proud of my Hyde roots, and that day the town was in the presence of greatness. The date was the 26th of August 2009. A crowd, several hundred strong, had gathered under rain clouds to await the arrival of a silver people carrier. Cheers greeted the vehicle as it pulled up on Market Street, and an entourage stepped out, followed by a frail-looking 67-year-old wearing dark glasses. Three-time heavyweight world boxing champion Muhammad Ali, one of the world's greatest sporting figures, was in Hyde, a few miles east of Manchester, to meet local hero Hatton and open his gym. There has been little of sporting significance for the town to shout about in the 8 years since. But that could change on Friday as a televised FA Cup tie captures the imagination of locals, including Hatton, the former world boxing champion nicknamed the Hitman. Hyde ecstatic at MK Dons FA Cup draw. It may not be the stardust of Ali, who died last year at the age of 74. Instead, it is the opportunity to cause the first big upset of this season's FA Cup. 8th year Hyde United average league crowd 328 host MK Dons in the first round, live on BBC Two, before a 3,500 sellout crowd. It's great to see them in the first round at home to a League One club on TV, Hatton told BBC Sport. When Muhammad Ali's people said he would be coming to open my gym, my jaw hit the floor, said Hatton of his meeting with one of the world's greatest sporting figures. They've struggled recently, but this is terrific for the area and I wish them all the best. Hatton's first football love is Manchester City, for whom he played as a schoolboy alongside brothers Jim and Jeff Whitley, who went on to make more than 150 league appearances for the club between them. I was certainly on their level at that time, added the Hitman, who used to walk to the ring to City's anthem Blue Moon and regularly wore sky blue shorts in reference of his support for the club. Hiding to nothing. Striker Matthew Beadle has scored 5 of Hyde's 13 FA Cup goals this season. The Tigers have beaten Congleton 42, Kendal Town 10, Warrington Town 11, 20, Boston Town 32 and Scarborough Athletic 20. Hyde are unbeaten in 20 Northern Premier League Division 1 North games and are 5th in the table. MK Dons are 16th in League One and are without a league win in 5 matches. Hyde United suffered a record 260 defeat to Preston North End in the FA Cup first round on the 15th of October 1887. North End were 120 ahead at half-time. Hyde's live match commentary service is humorously called 26nil.com. Tigers boss Darren Kelly, 38, was manager of League One Oldham Athletic 2 years ago. He was appointed Hyde manager in May 2016, with the club having suffered 3 relegations in 4 years, crowds down by 50% and about £500 in the bank. I've often wondered what might have been had I stuck with football, but I won 1 or 2 amateur boxing titles and I was getting a reputation. No one wanted to fight me. My attendance at football dropped. Work commitments have restricted Hatton, 39, to just 3 City games this season, but, if his diary allows, he hopes to make an appearance at Ewan Fields, Hyde's home, for the Northern Premier League Division 1 North club's biggest game in years. This area HASNT had much to shout about. It's great people are now talking about Hyde United. Ricky Hatto. I'm very busy, even more so now I'm retired from the ring, because I train 9 boxers, added Hatton, who grew up on the nearby Hattersley estate, a spillover on the eastern outskirts of Manchester and an area made infamous for being the home of Moore's murderers Ian Brady and Myra Hindley. Just down the road, Dr. Harold Shipman became notorious as Britain's worst serial killer. This area HASNT had many things to shout about, said Hatton, who lives in G Cross, a short car ride from his £2 million gym in Hyde, which employs 25 people. I hope during my boxing career I was able to make people around here proud, and it's great people are now talking about Hyde United. Ricky Hatton met Sven-Goran Eriksson when the Swede was manager of Manchester City. He could live anywhere, but I've never lived outside a 5-mile radius of Hyde. It's a working-class area full of hard-working people. When Muhammad Ali's people said he would be coming to open my gym, my jaw hit the floor. They cordoned the road off and people were stood outside waiting to catch a glimpse of him. There's a picture of us embracing. It takes pride of place in my games room. He'll never forget that day. Painting the town red. Hatton's beloved city have recently had strong links to Hyde, nicknamed the Tigers. The Etihad Stadium is 8 miles from Ewan Fields, and while City's £200 million academy, which opened at the end of 2014, was being built, the Premier League club entered into a ground share arrangement with their neighbours for reserve, under-21 and academy matches. As part of the deal, the non-league club temporarily dropped United from their name while Ewan Fields was turned from Hyde Red to City Blue. Then how Ewan Fields looked before Hyde United entered into a partnership with Manchester City. Although the arrangement has ended, the Tigers were given permission to change the club's name back to Hyde United in 2015. The ground remains predominantly blue as the Tigers have not had the finances to repaint the ground red. That is likely to change thanks to this FA Cup run. While this is MK Dons' first game in this season's competition, the Tigers are preparing for their 7th match after starting on the 19th of August with a 42 preliminary round home win over Congleton Town in front of 332 fans. Darren Kelly's side have earned £29,425 in prize money for battling through 5 qualifying rounds, while the club are expected to earn an additional £100,000 in TV revenue, sponsorship and gate receipts for this game. Now Hyde hope to paint Ewan Fields back to red with proceeds from their FA Cup run. City paid for the makeover. It was part of the deal when they rented the ground from the club. They wanted to put their livery on it, explained Hyde's community general manager Pete Anger. The deal ended a while ago and we feel we have moved on. Ultimately, we'd like to get back to red, but it takes time and finance. It's about getting our identity back. Hyde also planned to use proceeds from the cup run to replace a T-bar destroyed in an arson attack 3 years ago. Peter Boyle has this picture of himself, aged 8, holding the FA Cup, with a signed message from former Manchester United player Paddy Cree and hope to see you with the cup at 20. Now aged 20, striker Boyle is set to make his 100th appearance for Hyde United on Friday. Comedy club the Tigers can claim to have had England cricket and football internationals on the books as well as a Liverpool-born comedian. Before he hit the big time, John Bishop played in central midfield for a number of non-league clubs, including Hyde, and came close to walking out at Wembley for the Tigers. He appeared in both legs as they reached the semi-final of the FA Trophy in 1989, losing 40 on aggregate to eventual winners Telford. John Bishop, back row, third left, is pictured in a Hyde United team photo. Bishop made his first appearance for the Tigers on the 26th of November 1988, and went on to play for the club 57 times, scoring 7 goals. His last appearance for them was the 5th of February 1990. The comedian has not forgotten his former club despite his rise to fame. In 2009, he responded to a request for help when Hyde were in financial difficulty and were served with a winding-up order, which was overturned at the High Court. Bishop donated tickets for his shows to a raffle to raise funds for the Tigers. Hyde's World Cup winner William Chatterton, who appeared in Hyde's earliest days, played cricket for the MCC against South Africa and Cape Town in 1892. Defender Ephraim Longworth captained England in a 20 win over Belgium in Brussels in 1921, 14 years after leaving Hyde. More recently, England World Cup winner Sir Geoff Hurst accepted an invitation to become club president at Hyde. England World Cup hero Sir Geoff Hurst was presented with a Hyde United shirt by Tigers boss Darren Kelly when he visited Ewan Fields in July. Hurst, who scored a hat-trick as England beat Germany 42 in the 1966 final, was born in nearby Ashton-under-Lyne and then lived in Denton before his family moved to Essex when he was 8. That is not the only connection that he has with the club. His father, Charles, was once on the books at Hyde. When is the FA Cup second-round draw in a town with such sporting history? Hyde United's task is to add another chapter on Friday and make the locals proud.